Hey everyone, welcome. So you're thinking about buying a home. That's huge. It's one of the biggest, most exciting steps you can take. But how do you actually get the keys to that front door? Well, for most of us, it comes down to a home loan. And that's exactly what we're going to break down today. The main options out there so you can figure out which path is the right one for you.
Okay, first things first, let's get our heads in the right space. The word mortgage can sound kind of intimidating, right? But I want you to think of it differently. It's not some scary monster under the bed. It's actually a bridge, a really dependable one that connects your dream of owning a home with the reality of living in it. The whole trick is just finding the bridge that's built perfectly for your journey.
All right, let's dive into our first option. This is the one you've probably heard of the most, the conventional loan. Think of it as the main highway, the most common, straightforward, and well-traveled path to homeownership.
So who's this for exactly? Well, this path is perfect for the dedicated saver. You know who you are. If you've put in the work, built up a really solid credit score, and you've been socking away money for a down payment, we're usually talking somewhere between 3% and 20%, then a conventional loan is kind of like a reward for all that hard work and discipline.
And when you look at the details, it's pretty clear why it's the most popular choice. It's absolutely ideal for buyers with strong credit because it gives you more flexibility on the terms of the loan. Now, yes, you'll almost always need a down payment, but for anyone who's gotten their financial ducks in a row, it's a super reliable and straightforward way to go.
Okay, but what if that doesn't sound like you? What if you're just starting out, and maybe your credit isn't perfect, or you haven't had a chance to save up a huge pile of cash? Don't worry, there's a path for you too. And that brings us to our second option, the FHA loan. This one is literally designed to open doors, especially for people buying their very first home.
This loan is really for the hopeful first-timer. It was created for folks who are so ready and excited to own a home, but are also kind of nervous, worried that maybe they won't quite qualify for that conventional loan we just talked about.
And here's why people call it the first-timer's friend. It's built to be way more accessible. We're talking a much lower down payment, sometimes as little as 3.5%. And it's a lot more forgiving if your credit score isn't squeaky clean. For a lot of buyers, this is the thing that gives them the confidence to finally say, okay, I can do this.
So this chart right here is awesome. It lays out the four main paths all in one place. We've talked about conventional and FHA, but look at the next two, VA and USDA loans. You'll notice they share something pretty incredible, a feature that's a total game changer, the chance to have no down payment at all. Yeah, you heard that right.
All right, now let's get into these two really unique loans. These aren't for everyone. They're designed for very specific journeys. One is all about honoring military service, and the other is about supporting people who want to build a life in more rural areas.
And this is so cool. You've got two totally different paths, right? The VA loan, which is a way of saying thank you to our military members, veterans, and their families, and then the USDA loan, which helps people buy homes out in the country or smaller towns. But they both can lead to the same mind-blowing benefit, buying a home with little or even zero money down. That's huge.
Okay, so this all sounds good on paper, but let's make it real for a second. Let's talk about an actual story. Picture a young couple, maybe in a place like Southeastern Massachusetts. They're super excited about finding their first home, but they're also, they're anxious. They're looking at their finances and wondering, can we really do this?
And I mean, that's a feeling so many people know, right? You look at your bank account, you think about your credit score, and the worry just starts to creep in. For them, that dream of owning a home felt like it might be just a little out of reach.
But this is where finding the right bridge changes everything. They found out about the FHA loan. And because it didn't require a huge down payment and it was more forgiving about their credit history, it was the absolute perfect fit. It was the dependable start they desperately needed. And today, they're in their own home, building a life they love.
See, that story just goes to show you how powerful finding the right loan can be. So, okay, let's bring it back to you. Now it's your turn to think about your own journey. What does your personal path to owning a home look like?
Here's the most important thing to remember from all of this. Choosing a mortgage isn't just about crunching numbers. It's so much more than that. The right mortgage is the one that actually fits your life. It's a dependable, trustworthy tool that lines up with your goals and where you are financially right now.
And that really brings us to the final big question. As you start to move forward on this, just ask yourself, what does the bridge to your dream home look like? Is it that solid, straightforward, conventional path? Is it the supportive, friendly FHA loan? Or maybe it's one of the specialized VA or USDA loans? Just knowing your options, that's the very first step in building that bridge and turning your dream into a reality.